All right, everyone, we are about to get started, so I please ask everyone to take their seats. Okay, so good morning, everyone. As most of you know me as a familiar face, I am Khalil Bragg, Deputy Chief of Staff to Queens Borough President Donovan Richards Jr. And unfortunately, the BP could not make the meeting this morning, but he sends his regards, and as you all know, you're in pretty good hands with me. So I want to start off by thanking all the community board district managers and the city agencies who are with us today. I know some more will trickle in as the meeting goes on. And before we get started, I want to make a quick office announcement. So in some exciting news, I am pleased to introduce our new Chief of Staff, Tarika Morrison, sitting to my right. Tarika has been with our executive team for over 4 years now, serving as our Deputy General Counsel as well as our Director of Intergov. And so we're excited to stand behind her in leadership as we gear up for this next administration. With this change, I'm also pleased to announce that Michael Mallon will now serve as our second Deputy Borough President for External Affairs and Special Initiatives. Yep. So big changes here at Borough Hall. Now let's get into the good stuff. Opening this meeting, I would like to introduce the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, who will be providing an overview on maternal and reproductive health resources available through their Abortion Access Hub. The hub is comprised of clinical and public health professionals that partner with the abortion providers and maternal health organizations who work to provide critical health services and resources. This includes, but not limited to, the confidential help finding an abortion provider in New York City, scheduling an appointment and getting financial assistance, and finding transportation and lodging. Representing DOH today, we have Scarlett, Carmina, as well as Tara. And I'll give them the floor right now. The floor is all yours. Thank you, DOH.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Carmina Bernardo. Nice to meet you all. Thank you again to the Queens Borough President, to you, Khalil, and your team for inviting us and giving us this opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and move the slides. I'm glad the IT person is here for both technical and moral support. So before we get into the hub, I just want to take a couple of steps back and talk about the 3 main abortion access initiatives that have been run by the New York City Health Department. Obviously, the first is the hub, which we will talk about in detail. The second is free medication abortion at our sexual health clinics. We are the first, and as far as I know only, local health department that has offered free medication abortion in the country. And last but not least, we issued a sexual and reproductive health care Bill of Rights to protect everybody who is in New York City from threats and discrimination when they are accessing sexual and reproductive health care services. So for the New York City Abortion Access Hub, here are some of our sort of public mission statements. Our goal is to make New York abortion services accessible to all, especially to vulnerable and marginalized communities. We envision a world where abortion care is accessible to all people without barriers or stigma, and we connect abortion seekers to quality care and supportive resources that they need. So just a few facts about the New York City Abortion Access Hub. First of all, it was launched in November 2022. This was a few months after the Dobbs decision that I'm sure you've all heard of. And really in record time, they started to work on it as soon as the decision was leaked, and launched it in about 6 months later. We have a phone number up there. You'll see that it's a confidential phone number. We also have a website, nyc.gov/abortion. That should be easy to remember. We have both a phone number as well as a live chat. And again, it provides confidential help finding an abortion provider and help with scheduling an appointment. The Abortion Access Hub is open currently Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we have navigators. We have a staff of 7, including 4 navigators, whose primary responsibilities are to field incoming calls and connect callers to abortion providers. We also have language services available in 170 languages. So we'd like to talk a little bit about the approach. We have a public health approach, meaning it's a one-door or single point of entry for abortion access in New York City by directly connecting abortion seekers to abortion providers. It removes barriers people often face when trying to access abortion, especially if they need financial assistance, they must travel from another state, or just do not know where to go because of all the misinformation, disinformation, and scrutiny and stigma surrounding abortion. The hub navigators match callers or chatters with the provider that best meets their needs and preferences. And how they figure that out is they ask them about their language, what their preferred abortion method is, where they live, what their preferred borough is, and the day of the week for service, what insurance status they have, and whether they need financial help or other supportive services. So who's calling the hub? And we'll get into it more here. So these are numbers from the beginning of the hub, from November 1st, 2022 through the end of September of this year. The hub navigators have answered over 8,000 calls and over 3,500 chats. We'll look at a moment at our average caller, but a quarter of all our calls are out-of-state calls. And the callers from out of state come primarily from Florida, Texas, Georgia, and New Jersey. So here is a snapshot of who is calling the hub, and this represents sort of the average caller, either a majority or a plurality of callers. So most of our callers earn less than $25,000 a year. They primarily identify as Hispanic or Latino. They are generally between the 18 to 29 years old for the most part. Most of them are less than 3 months pregnant. Most of them live in New York City. And most of them find out about the hub through a Google search. They Google New York City abortion and they find our number in the top 2 or 3 listings. We've also invested in search optimization because we want to meet them where they are. Who are our partners? So I believe we probably partner with most abortion providers in New York City. We have about 30 clinical partners. Most of them have multiple sites. So if we count the sites, we have at least 40 referral sites. And they are our health and hospitals, public hospital system, our DOHMH sexual health clinics. Like I said earlier, many of them offer medication abortion for free. We also partner with a number of private hospital systems in New York City, independent providers, and a few telemedicine-only sites. We also have additional partnerships with funding and practical support organizations. For our hub partners, so because they are a referral network that we want to continually sort of build relationships with, we do a lot of hub partner engagement. First, we have a lot of one-on-one check-in meetings with them where we provide hub data and feedback about a caller's and chatter's experience with that provider. We make sure that we have updates on the provider staffing, funding, any kind of patient protocols that have changed. And we also share any relevant health department updates. We also have periodic calls for all our partners. We cover a range of issues that are relevant to our partners, including immigrant access to health care and clinic safety and security. We also have hub in-person convenings. We have an annual gathering. We just had one last month, actually, where we invite all our partners, bless you, not just the abortion providers, but also abortion support organizations and other community organizations. Our panels and presentations at these in-person convenings can vary. At this last convening, we talked about pain management, the experiences of our sexual health clinic staff, stress management, and clinic safety and security. And also, we do try to visit all our hub partners in the last couple of years. We have managed to, I think, visit almost all of them except for a handful. So talked a little bit about year one, about how we innovated, because we were nobody else had done this before until the New York City Health Department. And as we know, no other local health department has done this yet. So one of the things we innovated is in May 2023, several months after we first opened, the hub added a live chat feature. And services are currently limited to serving people in New York City who speak English and Spanish. In addition to the live chat feature, we've also created and maintained a group of abortion providers that make up the hub's referral network, where again, we provide timely and constructive feedback to partners on how to work with patients in a post-DOBS environment. We've also trained our navigators on customer services, reproductive health, and health insurance to make sure they have some more than the basic information to help callers. And finally, we have established an abortion access work group within the New York City Health Department, but across different bureaus to collaborate and coordinate on New York City's abortion access initiatives. And like I said earlier, just a little bit more information about the other initiatives I talked about in the beginning. We launched no-cost medication abortion at our sexual health clinics. Currently, 4 of our clinics provide medication abortion for free on site. They are at Morrisania, Jamaica, Central Harlem, and Fort Greene. And Scarlett should get credit for this, and she can say more about this. We also launched the New York City Sexual and Reproductive Health Care Bill of Rights. We're also happy to send you a copy if you need it. And just a sort of like summary, in New York City, you have the right to access sexual and reproductive health care, including abortion. And you have these rights where you are in New York City, no matter where you live. When we first issued this, we did share it with all our clinical partners. I think that might be. So we do have swag items that you can that are available at the Abortion Access Hub webpage. I did bring magnets, but I clearly did not bring enough. I only brought 7. So I'm happy to pass it around, and you can, again, order more if you go to our website. But if anybody wants to take a magnet, please feel free to do so. I can pass them here. Thank you. And that is the end of our presentation. Any questions?
So before we get into the questions, I just had a quick one. And first, thank you for your presentation. I just wanted to know if there are any plans to expand the language access for the hub. Just speaking on behalf of the Borough of Queens, you know, we have a big, diverse borough here, so I just wanted to know if there's any plans of that.
So we do have hub navigators who speak, who are bilingual in Spanish and Haitian Creole.
Okay.
And currently, if there are other languages, which there are, they use a language line, a phone language line, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, the first question is going to go to Felicia. We have the mic coming.
Thank you. Good morning. On one of your slides, you said that most of your calls came from out of state. But then when you went to the slide about what your demographic is, the breakdown, it says most of them live in New York. So I'm a little confused by that.
Sorry about that. I actually meant 25% of our calls are from out of state, and the remainder are from New York City, or a small percentage from New York State outside of New York City. Yeah. But thank you for that question, for clarifying that.
Any other questions? Wow, that means y'all did a great job. Well, I want to thank Scarlett, Carmina, and Tara, and the team at DOH, Samantha as well, for being here. So we'll move right on to our next item. And moving on, we have a couple of updates from NYPD Patrol Borough Queens South and North. Each will provide information on agency response to crime-related fraud, scams, and other financial crimes targeting the elderly, as well as some particular updates. So here on behalf of NYPD Patrol Borough Queens South, we have Assistant Chief Christopher McIntosh. He is joined by Deputy Chief John Clune, and representing Patrol Borough Queens North, we have Deputy Chief Joseph Haywood. We will start with Queens South and then go to North, and then we'll follow up with the Q&A. So thank you for being here.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right, I can hear myself too. So I'll give a quick overview of the overall crime, and then I'll get into the particular for crime concerning the elderlies and any kind of fraud incident that's going on. You know, just overall for the year to date, Queens South, we're down almost 3%, 2.9%. We're down in shootings, and we like to state that. And we're down in shooting victims. We're down shooting 40%. We're down shooting victims 40%. You know, when you look at the real numbers, that's 36 less victims and 31 less incidents. Retail theft, I also like to state that we're down 404%. We're down 12%. You know, for the 28 days, we're down 2%. The two categories that's really driving us for the 28 days, we up in two categories, robberies and grand larcenies, which will piggyback into the fraud. As far as our robberies, we only up 8 robberies, but the category that's really driving our robberies is internal, is residential. So it's mostly a domestic related. 16 versus 6. Out of those 16 domestic robberies, 12 have arrests, and the other 4 have PCI card. So as far as street robberies, we're not seeing that in Queens South. As far as our grand larcenies, the category that's driving our grand larcenies is really from the persons. And when you come from, it's from the person and it's from the autos. But when you come from the persons, 19 versus 0 is a gypsy scam. And the gypsy scam been plaguing us in the sense that the perpetrators is a male, white, Asian, probably, we term it gypsy, but probably, I'm saying Eastern European, and they basically target elderly victims. They'll approach the victims in a car, and they'll either say a prayer or something that the victim can relate to, and they'll remove their chains. That's been plaguing us. That's been really driving our grand larcenies from the persons. And, it's a citywide issue. We have done deployment during the times, because they usually hit from 1000 to 4 o'clock. So from 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock. So we work with Queens North, our grand larceny unit, to try to target those particular time frame where they hit. For us is the 102, the 107, which is the Richmond Hill, Fresh Meadow area. And we'll target those particular areas to try to catch these perpetrators. So this is a citywide thing. There's a citywide deployment. Anytime we get one hit, we go over citywide frequencies. So we'll notify Queens North. We'll notify the entire city to be on the alert. We have a vehicle of interest, but they switch up their vehicles. But anytime we get a hit on a particular vehicle, we put it over our DOS alert, which is like an APP. We put it over citywide to make sure that we try to get ahead of these particular perpetrators. The one warning I would give to if you get out to the community, if you don't know someone, they're approaching you for a chain swap, or if you related some, don't, especially to our elderly victims. Most of our victims is 65 and older, so that's who's getting targeted. So I would love for you just put that out, because this is we're going to catch them, but prevention is ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if we could get ahead of it. Another other thing that's driving our grand larcenies from the autos, we have airbag thieves, catalytic converter thief. With the airbags, they basically target our 105 precinct. The 107 is a catalytic converter, which is Fresh Meadows. And these guys, they come. If you have the cars that's getting hit is Toyota, CRV, Honda CRV, any Honda, Acura, but mainly CRV, Honda. And basically, listen, they're in and out within 2 minutes. And I constantly say this: if you have a old club, they don't hit your car. If you put a club on, I like the community or the public to know, if you have a club on, it's a business, right? They're in and out within 2 minutes. If it takes more than 2 minutes, they're not doing it. If they see a club, they're not doing it. They'll get a key fob, go in the car, and there's 2 screws. So they just open those screws and take the airbag out, and they're gone. The club blocks it, or the clubs slow it down. So they will not hit your car if you have a club. They're gonna go to an easy mark. It's a business, they in and out. And by the time these cars get reported, these thefts get reported, they do it on the midnights, they're already crossed the bridge. So the people are reporting when they go to work, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. The crime was done between 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. And listen, we've been very successful in the last 4 weeks. Last week, we took about 6. So we've been very successful in deterring it. But again, with anything, they'll try again and they'll try again. The best way to prevent it is with a club or a wheel cover. Those simple items will slows them down. They're not gonna take your car. It's strictly business. Most likely they sell it on Facebook Marketplace or sell overseas. So, no, I don't. No, I think it's just easier for them to sell it. So it's basically a business. They sell on Facebook Marketplace, and we have got the serial numbers for the airbags, and we put alerts, so to speak, on it. And we're checking for any theft with Facebook Marketplace, and our auto crime will do like a sting operation, so to speak. But this is an organized crew, and there's more than one crew. Okay. Well, again, the quick fix is a wheel cover or the club. That works. I mean, we could get into our Q team, but I think when your concern was elderly, the elderly fraud, right? The big drive we've seen with elderly is the gypsy scam. That's what's killing us. Okay, so we're partners. We drive around. I'm in a car, right? I target you for some reason. We're from Queens. What part of Queens are you from? All right. We won't let you know. I said we're from Queens South. We're from Queens South, all right? All right. So I know you're from Queens South. I say, hey, when last time you was at what particular area? You know, say you go to whatever religious institution. Do you mind us doing a prayer? We saying this, we share the same religion, the same custom. Let's do a prayer, right? Do a prayer. You have a nice watch on. They swap the watch. They take the watch off your hands while you're doing the prayer. And by the time you realize, they're gone. I don't know. That I don't know. But they'll swap. So I will say, let's say a prayer, right? Let's say a prayer. We're saying a prayer, right? I got our verse, man and woman. So I'm not intimidating to you, right? We're saying the same beliefs, same custom. It's called a gypsy scam because of the people who are doing it. They're gypsies. Yes, they're gypsies. They're gypsies. Is a whole social, whole group of them. So they'll go to New Jersey. They'll meet. So there's a whole group of them. So it's called gypsy. It's called gypsy scam. Called the perpetrators are gypsies.
Do you have any flyers or anything like this that we can put out to the community? So
yes, we put out. We'll send it to you. We put out flyers of their vehicles. We put flyers out of the perpetrators. So
of the scam. That's what I mean.
Oh, you mean yes, we could have something from crime prevention. Yes.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, so I know you're from the 115 precinct. So what we'll do? No, I was just saying they're going to bring you the mic.
They're gonna get you the mic.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, if you want, we can. We'll grab. 105. Oh, 105. Sorry. Yeah, so we can grab the email address afterwards, and then we'll have the crime prevention division email you flyers that we can distribute it amongst your community. And this is a scam that happened years ago as well, and I was kind of making a comeback because it's nice and easy for them to do. So this is something that they go back to when times get rough, or it's an easy way for them to get off with property or exchange it for money and so on and so forth. So they just resort back to it. This is something that yeah, no problem. Anytime.
No, it's more that it's all confidence games. What they do is they just kind of talk to you, get comfortable, and sometimes it's money swaps they do, even the lottery scams that they come up with. There's all different plays on it. What we've noticed now is just a lot of these things have been about jewelry. And what they'll do is they'll just notify somebody, they'll see somebody with a they'll ask them, oh, I want to bless it for you, let me see it. Then they'll put a fake one on, back on the person. So there's a couple of different things. Sometimes they take it off, but sometimes they're actually very good at what they do. This is their profession. So they'll actually take it off you. They'll hug you, and next minute you walk away, you don't even realize you don't have your chain on. So our biggest push, especially for the holiday seasons, that we do, it's all about self-awareness. Sometimes, not that I'm saying we're very negative in this agency, just because you have to be very careful on who you trust, especially during the holidays. So we do, there's a lot of those scams, same thing with the ATM machines. Just have to be careful going up to them, who's standing around you and what. Just be aware of your surroundings that are there.
Hold on, I just want to urge all the district managers, if you do have a question, just write it down. We'll let both of the chiefs get through both of their updates, and then we'll do all the questions after. All right, thank you.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much I have, and you know, the launch of the Q teams addressing quality of life concerns. I think right now we're answering about the Q teams alone, answering about 65% of all quality of life concerns. So that's been a big, a tremendous help and tremendous focus in addressing the quality of life concern within the particular precincts. I'm gonna give them traffic.
You know, just a little bit of a follow-up. Each of our precincts, again, we think it's a very successful program that's gone out. Each of our precinct has 1 to 2 teams. They usually work 10 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, and then another team comes in at 6 o'clock at night to about 2 in the morning. They address all our 311 concerns or quality of life issues, whether it's 311 and or 911 calls. We have tried to focus them on that, this way that's a direct correlation with what the public wants, because we're seeing definitely an impact on that. We're getting a lot of very good information that comes back on it. And it's just say they're dealing with anything, whether it's anything to deal with quality of life. Sometimes it's all in Queens South. We do have a big push on the tractor trailers parking overnight, as well as blocking driveways, a lot of just basic quality of life things. People standing on corners, noise, drug use, whatever. So we kind of target those areas. We track the 311s, but it's not only about just enforcement, which is our strong point, but it's also about kind of correcting the conditions that are there. A lot of times, some people don't realize that people have driveways. They do have to have access all the time. So we do try to find out the people that actually are doing it, correct the problem where we can. But if that doesn't work, then of course we do our enforcement action that's necessary.
Thank you.
That's it for Queens South.
Yes, Chief Haywood.
Yeah, so Queens North has much of the same problems that Queens South does. Just a little overview for all the precincts. 7 of the 8 precincts are definitely going to win the year with historic lows in crime. Some of the 111 in Eastern Queens and Bayside, they're probably having the toughest year with GLAs, which is stolen cars, mostly committed on the midnight, and residential burglaries. We've seemed to got the residential burglary problem kind of like stopped for now, but the GLAs continue to be a focused issue of ours on the midnight. We see that a lot of cars showing up in the Bronx afterwards that were stolen out of Queens North, and we're trying to do joint operations with the bridges at the Throgsneck Bridge and the Whitestone Bridge. We're putting a lot of resources on the midnight in the 111, and hopefully we start to see a decline before the year is out. The 109, historic lows in crime, but they're seeing much of the same issues as the 111, just in larger numbers, but they're going against large numbers. A lot of the crimes committed in the 109, the perpetrators are fleeing on mopeds and scooters, which seems to be a problem citywide. We've done much enforcement with mopeds and illegal scooters and confiscated in the hundreds. They're having a big decline in crime, the 109, but another command that's hit with gypsy scams on the frequent. 110, 115, Roosevelt Avenue, again, historic lows in crime this year. Both commanders are doing an outstanding job. Quality life issues, though, on the midnight still continue to be a problem. Any help we could use from any other city agencies to help with prostitution, we would much appreciate. You know, as we do a joint operation every week on Thursday night, the 110, 115, and the transit above, and we focus on prostitution and clients and stuff like that. But no matter how much enforcement we do, it seems to be not making a dent. So whatever other city agencies can maybe help us out in this matter, you know, whether it's from a social work perspective or, you know, these women just might need help. and we will take whatever we could get. The 104, another command doing great with crime, but continually gets hit by gypsy scams and stolen catalytic converters, which is, the kind of like by the muffler pipe on your cars. It's another thing that plagues us on the midnight. We've put a lot of resources over there. It stops. They'll hit us for a week, and then they don't come back for a good 2 months, and then they come back in one night and they'll steal like 8. So we're definitely on top of it. We got an intel alert of a gypsy wedding that happened about a month ago, where they thought 300 to 400 gypsies were coming from all around the area, and we were focused in on it. We had intelligence officers in plain clothes watching the wedding, and the day of the wedding, we really didn't have any crimes. But we saw after the wedding, that Monday and Tuesday, we continued to see property crimes around 8-3 and other parts of the city, but not really in Queens North, that were stemming, we believe, from these gypsies coming in. And just like the chief said, scamming individuals. We had a couple of arrests where that people were driving with a van. They would have an elderly female in the back seat of the van. They'd pull up to another elderly female, maybe walking, and they would start some conversation. Next thing you know, they're trying to connive you out of some type of cash or jewelry. 114, another command doing great for the year. We're going to continue as the fall zone. It's a fall zone crime reduction zone on Steinway Street. And we have posts in and around housing, mostly focusing on Queensbridge and 400 Road. We unfortunately did take a shooting in Queensbridge yesterday, but other than that, it's been, knock on wood, quiet. We continually have resources there, especially on the night. We have a little issue with clubs thinking they could stay open past 4 a.m. We've continually to ticket these places. I feel one of the issues is that there's a club in the 108 that's allowed to stay open till I believe 8 o'clock in the morning because they don't have a liquor license, and that's stemming the other clubs to think that they could do it. But we're gonna try to do a SLA meeting before Thanksgiving Eve to kind of get that message out. Like, listen, it's not gonna be put up with. The 108, they're doing good. They had a little spike in mailbox thefts where people were breaking into mailboxes in the lobbies of buildings and stealing credit cards and other issues. Other than that, they're doing all right. And then I got Captain Fennessy with me from the 112. He's having a good year. Some maybe 311 complaints about the Forest Hill Stadium, but I think the precinct did a great job with all the concerts. We had a breakdown every night of what was going on. We had one concert that there was some complaints about with the Fish concert, where people were selling whippets, which I'd never seen before, but it actually was something that was going on. So if you have any questions about Forest Hills, he's the man to see. I got my Detective Hamid from Community Affairs behind me, too. And if we could get anything from the electeds or any of the community boards, we could use airbags, any donations of the club to prevent airbags from being stolen. We did have a spike in airbags being stolen, the same as Queens South, pretty much the same nights. The club really prevents this crime. And also air tags for cars. If we could get any money or resources to fund air tags, to give them out at community council meetings, just a simple air tag being left in a car in the 111 or 109, that car gets stolen, we know exactly where the car is, we could track it, and it'll help us to identify these perpetrators. A lot of times when these cars are left somewhere, especially, let's say in the Bronx, we could just go into our computer system and put in, all right, who's been arrested for GLAs, who's been arrested for stolen, and sure enough, where all these cars are being found at, we'll get 1 or 2 individuals that actually live over there. So it's just it's a cheap way. Air tags are cheap. If we could get them, distributed at meetings, I think you'll continue to see drops in crime in Queens North and Queens South. So that's it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Chief. I'll now open up the floor for questions. We could start with Mark McMillan, then followed by Florence.
Yeah, thank you for coming here, and congratulations on the good work. My question is, why is crime down? We hear all of this stuff about how bad things are, and I'm not trying to get into the politics of what just happened, but each of you said that outside of GLAs, the crime is down. What do you attribute that crime being down for?
No, the good work of the men and the women of the NYPD, but also to the community. So I think it's just the focus and precision policing. And when I say focus and precision policing, it is data driven, but our deployment goes off of what we're seeing. Our deployment matches the crime. I give you an example. We could use our current issue, the airbags, right? So our deployment is on the midnights. We'll move our cops back to cover those critical hours between 0200 to 0500. And you'll see a reduction. We saw a reduction in airbag thefts. Don't get me wrong. We were doing about 70, like within 28 days. We were doing a lot. So we saw a reduction. We just got a little spike, all right, at 9, right? And we're both on it, right? So as soon as we saw that spike, now that we're not doing the deployment, we both on it. We both got on the call. We had calls about it, and I'm just giving the airbag as an example. And the airbag in the crime trees, right? The airbag is last, right? It's property is last, right? So in the crime tree, that's last. But we've done so well in the other top categories that we're not focusing on every little thing. We're focused on petty larceny. Look, I gave you a retail theft that we're down. We're focused on petty larceny. So I think it's just the man and woman in NYPD working hard, and it's data driven. So if something spikes, we redeploy. You know, the man and woman NYPD, we switch them to redeploy to address the concern. So I just think the coordination and the deployment is working. Well, we spike with 9. And we're worried about 9. It's important. 1 is one too many, but we're worried about 9. We saw the spike on that one day. No, there's definitely less violence crime. The deployment. We listen to deployment, and we track. There's always repeat offenders, right? If you're a shooter, right, one time you're probably going to be a shooter, 2 times you're probably going to be a shooter 3 times. So those shooters, you have to get off the streets. Right? Those guys, those men and women that commit dangerous crime, you have to get them off the street. You have to be laser focused. So I think, and this is a long history of us being laser focused on people that do those violent crimes. So I'll say any commander, if you speak to them about crime, they are on it. They're on it. They're on it. So I think just to focus on the violent crime, our deployment, it is a street robbery, our focus and deploying for the street robberies, and keeping track of the bad people that's committing the crime, the predators, the predators that's preying on the community. I think just that focus alone has enabled us to reduce the overall violent crime in the city. Out in Queens South, we focus on violent crime, but I'm focused on property crime now. Listen, one shooting is one too many. But, if you look at our reduction, we're down by, it's a lot. And then I like to look at the raw number. That's what really matters.
Want to go to Florence and then Felicia? Oh, you can go. You know what? Yeah. I know you.
Florence knows hers is going to be longer than mine. No, but I just wanted to add to what you were saying, and I think that the reorganization of officers with the Q team that are now dealing with quality of life issues that don't get called in and then divert officers to those type of things allows you to be laser focused on people that may be perpetrating the violent crimes. And so I think that should be the feather in the cap and the testament to what the Q team is doing. I know it's made a difference because we were one of the pilot programs in the 101, and it did make a difference because people are seeing things now, and that prevents something from escalating. Like they're seeing the things and they're calling it in to the 311 and to the Q team, and so then they approach those things like domestic abuse, because it's an argument on the street. People are like, oh, that's a quality of life because you're outside my house yelling and screaming, and the Q team is responding to those, and then that doesn't escalate to possibly, a violent crime related to a domestic abuse. So I think that that's kind of the reduction you're seeing might also go hand in hand with how you have utilized and deployed the Q team to deal with low-level things that don't get called in and take the officers away from things that are more violent, and what it is that you're tracking with your statistics. So, kudos to you. You should clap for that.
Hi, so I'm Florence, the one who talks too much. My question is silly, really. How much do they sell the air? I'm fascinated with this airbag theft. Do you know how much they sell the airbags for?
Airbags are very expensive.
Are they?
To
replace them.
produce, to replace, could be a couple of $1,000.
Legitimately.
Legitimately, if you have a car wrecks, whatever, a lot of them are, like the body shops, whatever, they can reuse them, recycle them into cars. They're not supposed to be doing that, but it's a cost savings for them.
Crazy.
The airbags are very easy to take. It's almost like side mirrors of the car. Everybody needs one. So I should say, so that's why it's just part of the car. Like, that's what we're seeing, like vehicle accessories. It's all part of it, but those were the big spikes that we had that really plagued Queens North, Queens South for a very long period of time. We got a little bit ahead of it. And that's also, like as we say, how does crime go down? Crime is very transient all of a sudden, because I do think we do a lot better job these days of real communication. We're on the phone with Queens North all the time on a regular basis. Our apprehension plans all kick in for both boroughs as well as the Bronx. Because we know they're transient.
Yeah.
Usually their methods of escape are going over a bridge. So we
Yeah.
try to work with TBTA, the Bronx, and that's which the good chief mentioned. We look at where the cars are recovered. Now, where was the car recovered? What location? Now let's take a look at who lives in and around that area. They're a known car thief, or they deal in secondhand airbags. Now we can kind of take a look at who's there. So to kind of to everybody's point here, it does tie it all together on how I'm not saying we're getting better, but we have to change with the times and as things move on. And what we're seeing is by our kind of a little bit more of a focused approach on what we're doing, we're getting a little bit better at what we do, but getting a little bit ahead where we all kind of be able to focus on quality of life, the Q teams. They do a great job. They're out there. And that's what the people that live in the community yourselves see every day. And that's what we appreciate that, because we want to make your lives better, because that's what we're all in the game together. This is New York City, right? But then on the same token is for the crime conditions, we have people that do come from other states and or upstate New York, and they drive through, and these are the term gypsy scam is more slang. But these are just confidence games that are there. It's been going on for a long time. But now, once they see it's fruitful in certain neighborhoods, who do they prey on? They're preying on the elderly, people that just are kind of a little trusting. And we hate to be that person to tell you, don't trust anybody. But we kind of have to not trust anybody, especially when somebody wants to touch you as a person and or your property. You have to be very careful of. So we appreciate everything, but everything kind of does touch each other. What we do get better is really our communication with each other.
Thank you. For the Queens North, I have Astoria, Long Island City. I have all the nightlife. What you said, the statement about that one place that's open after 8, actually they're illegal. They're not allowed to be serving alcohol, as you know, without.
They're not serving alcohol.
They're just open till 8 a.m. without alcohol?
Show Palace doesn't have a liquor license.
Oh.
They're
Okay, you don't have to
actually-
say more.
They're allowed,
Yeah.
so they're actually allowed to stay open late.
Yes.
And I think that's causing some of the places in Astoria to think we're losing clientele to this place, and they're staying open. And we have done late night inspections and
Yeah,
and summons the other places. But we took a stabbing over the weekend at Mermaids on 31st Street, and
Have they been staying open late?
we found out this weekend that they were. So they were summonsed, and we went there the next day, and they got another summons. So a place that we really don't have any
We
problems.
just
It's off the
redid their
radar.
liquor license. I
Yeah.
had no report on that.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
but we have no issues with them whatsoever up until we have a problem there. And then
Yeah.
now we see they're staying open after 4 o'clock, so we have to send a message and hit the summonses.
Years ago, they calmed down, so I'm sad to hear that they're having a problem again.
I don't know if it's necessarily them, but it's the late night clientele that they're taking in there. That we had several robberies where that people see the BMWs, the Mercedes, the nice dressed looking guys going in there with jewelry.
And
late
do
at
they
night,
have promoters?
Getting,
We try to say no promoters to most of our
We had
licenses.
an
so-
off-duty police officer several months ago while leaving there. He got followed out of the club into his nice BMW. They tried to box him in, and they tried to rob him. Fortunately, the officer was able to get his car out of the parking spot and went up on the sidewalk. But he actually got shot They shot through his window, the bullet deflected, and he was grazed in the leg.
Wow.
But this is the type of stuff that's happening with these clubs at these hours of the night. And it's not to say that the club is doing anything wrong, or Mermaids or Riviera or any of these places. It's just people know that people going in there with cash money, a lot of money, and I guess to advertise this day and age, they're advertising with jewelries and Rolex watches and everything else, and then they're hanging out, let's say, on Steinway. I think we had guys leaving Riviera. They went to a deli afterwards on Steinway, like 5 o'clock in the morning. People followed them out there, and they got robbed because they were flashy with the Rolex watch and everything else. So. Well, but I guess not at 5 a.m. That's
You're right. I mean,
But you go out, you want to look handsome, you want to look pretty, you
Right.
want to look nice. I mean, it's just that
that's
these
their
people are
focus,
jealous.
And I don't and the clubs in general, they're giving us the video, they're giving us the licenses, they're scanning the licenses, so they are working with us. And I don't want to throw them under the bus because they do work with the police department. It's just that certain clientele and certain people know that people go in there with big money and they're targeting them. And like I said, we're going to meet with the SLA right before Thanksgiving Eve to try to get some of the clubs in and try to kind of like set the tone. Like, listen, 3:30 should be last call. 4 o'clock,
Like
everybody's got to be out.
What you do at Flushing Meadow Park, that meeting, is that what you're talking about? The nightlife meeting at Flushing Meadow Park?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've been to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them.
What that meeting does is really just open a line of communication. So if something does happen, I could call, Mr. Jones, who works the door. I know, listen, I need the video right away, blah, blah, blah. And listen, the more they work with us, obviously we don't want to come in there and hammer them, as a,
Yeah. See, from the community board aspect of this, what happens is the public doesn't understand the stuff that happens outside does not affect the liquor license, and it may not even be the perpetrator of the business. It's the problem that the crime has happened because people know that there's a big gathering here with people of means,
Right.
so they wait a block away, or
Right.
and then the public in the community, because of the work we do, blame the club, and the understanding cannot be passed to the public. It's not that establishment's fault, it's a crime's fault.
Right.
So, yeah, thank you for that. You're doing a great job. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I have a question on a little bit different topic, sort of related but different. New Year's Eve, we're getting requests for their extended license for New Year's Eve. How are we handling that? How are the police addressing that? And what are we looking at?
We right now we're looking at to do a plan for Steinway Street, Roosevelt Avenue, to have more cops on for pretty much New Year's to the end. And the liquor license that got approved in the past for longer hours, we could do it again. We don't have any businesses that were in trouble or anything from last year or anything like that.
Is it okay? Last year, we wrote a letter from our board. My board decided, the
Okay.
membership decided that we were going to say none across the board, and state give them all. So I just want you to be aware of that.
So you
As
don't
they
want it
come
or you
in,
do want it?
we don't want
You don't
the
want it, okay.
we don't want the 24. As they come in, I'm going to pass them to the chair of the committee in a
Okay.
bulk. And I've been talking to the 114. They've been remarkable. We're going to compare who got what, get the statistics, and then send them. But I'm betting, my board hasn't talked about it yet. I'm sure it's going to happen. But when they do talk about them as they're coming in, I just want to let you know that the 114 has been working directly with us.
Okay, so I'll speak to Inspector Lynch too. If that's
Yeah.
something you guys don't want, then we'll
I'll
make
find
sure
out,
that
I'll
that's-
find out in November. Yeah,
Okay.
now, yeah. Thank you.
That goes for the 105 too. We had one overnight for New Year's Eve. We're going to say no to all of the overnight stuff.
I'm good with that.
I just have one other question on, and then I'm going to shut up, about the catalytic converters. Is there a gang that does that? Are there certain vehicles that they target, and what is that really all about, other than just
There's a
collecting?
crew.
It's a crew.
There's a crew. I think there's multiple crew. The Honda CR-V, Acura, and Toyota Highland in Queens South. That's our most prevalent car that they target. So Honda CR-V, Acura, a Honda Pilot. Any Hondas, they target those. And then the second,
For the catalytic converters?
yeah. The second most one is a Toyota Highlander. And the other cars are like 1 or 2, but those are the most prevalent vehicles in Queens South.
But it's a gang that goes around.
There's a crew. It's organized. This is not, this is not like local substance abuse or the local guy that go through. This is not that. This is an organized crew. This is within 2 minutes. Heat within 5 seconds or whatever. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an organized crew. This is organized.
Thank you.
It wouldn't be a bad idea if you guys see the videos of the Cadillac converters getting stolen to maybe show to your constituents, because they have them on YouTube. Literally 3 minutes. They got a power saw. They go right underneath the car and they saw it right off. And one of the issues is that either these Cadillac converters are going and going back to the junkyards and being sold, or they're being melted down. Somebody's doing it. Somebody's making money off of it. So it's something we do in Queens North and Queens South. We did a joint operation and went to junkyards and body shops, and actually with auto crime and other city agencies, and we gave them a lot of summonses and stuff of that nature because we wanted to stop. Do we think every body shop is involved in doing this? No, but we want the message to go out and then to set the tone and maybe call. Somebody knows who's taking these Cadillac converters in. So, I feel bad hitting, Joe Schmo's trying to make a living, fixing cars, and we're going in there summoning them. But somebody out of one of these body shops is not doing the right thing, and that's why these people are stealing them. They're selling them off to one of them.
And the issue they have is that there's no identifying marks on them. All right, so what we do is, so when you cut them out, there's no way to track them. So even if we go into a place, one of a body shop, they have 500 of them in there, we don't know what cars they belong to, whether they stolen or not, or they just have been like damaged cars. But we are, and I believe they're doing it this week, this weekend, etching of the catalytic converters. So I believe it's in Cunningham Park, it's in the 107. Right. I believe it's this Saturday, but what they'll do is the car comes in, we'll put an identifying mark on the car, like a serial number. And then, as you say, once we do these checks at these body shops and repair shops, as well as we catch anybody that's driving around, we're able to tie that specific one if it has all marks on it to the car it was. So then at least it kind of helps us with the case kind of moving forward.
Thank you. Giovanna has a question.
Thank you for coming. A couple of questions, actually. One, I just wanted to make a suggestion about the air tags, that perhaps it might be, maybe you can do a PSA advising people to invest in air tags so that you can reduce the incidence of car theft. And then also the same thing with the airbags and the device. Perhaps they should invest in that. So that should be a part. If you own a car, these are the sort of things that you should invest in to ensure that your car is not broken into or stolen. What I do have a question pertaining to Roosevelt Avenue. As you know, last year, October through December, we had the Roosevelt Avenue Task Force in place, and we did see a significant improvement on those streets. While a great job was done by the police department and other agencies, we are beginning to see the activity coming back in. So my question is whether or not there are any plans to reconvene the Roosevelt Avenue Task Force.
As of right now, we have both field training cops in the 115 and the 110. They're both on Roosevelt Avenue. We have it from 5:30 at night to 2 in the morning, and then again from 9:30 at night to 5 in the morning. That's on top of transit upstairs on Roosevelt Avenue. Also has a late night crew that's covering Roosevelt Avenue, and they do a joint operation every Thursday night from 10 o'clock at night to 3 o'clock in the morning on 90th Street on Roosevelt, between 90th and 92nd, focused on quality life issues over there. They've been very successful during those hours, getting arrests and summonses, and that's the reason why we do it Thursday night is with the hope that whatever arrests we make, whatever summons we give, maybe the weekend will be nice and quiet, that the person will be like, ah, you know what, it's better not to go to jail. So I credit that we're part of the declining crime over there. Also, we've done major scooter and moped confiscations in Roosevelt in the hundreds of crushing these things. We're going to continue to do that. And on top of that, you got the quality life teams on both sides, the 110 and the 115. So whereas the Roosevelt Avenue Task Force, the cops that were there, you actually have more cops now on both sides addressing 311 issues. We probably will do joint operations with other city agencies, just probably definitely one or two more times before the end of the year. So
Again, I commend you for what you've done. It has made a significant difference. But also, and I'm sure that you're aware that we have activities during the day now. Some of these sex workers are out like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
One specific location is 82nd Street.
right, I'm very
Between
familiar.
37th Avenue and Roosevelt.
Right.
They have taken up, they have an office. I'll call it, well, they actually do come out of one of the businesses on 82nd Street. But in addition to that, they are stationed underneath the staircase leading to the number 7 train as well. And that is early in the day from about 10 o'clock in the morning. So, but again, what is being done is greatly appreciated. And, again, thank you for what you're doing.
I'll definitely let the precinct commander know that we're having daytime issues on 82nd Street. 82nd Street is a big time focus for us at night, just because the violence is at night. And listen, I know there's issues during the day. I see it out there too. We just did a search warrant on Roosevelt Avenue this past weekend with Vice and narcotics and the other from the detective standpoint, and it was successful. And we did, confiscate money and shut a place down, and we had several arrests. So we'll keep up the enforcement, and it's hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's very, very hard. So we need help from everybody on board. So
Right, so that's why I'm asking the question, what the community board can do to help. And also, I do want to thank you for the confiscation of all of those bikes. I saw the pictures, and it's absolutely needed. These bikes are speeding through our districts, and we have had senior citizens in particular who've been struck by the bike. So we appreciate what you're doing in that area as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
I just want to expand on that because I know exactly what you're talking about. We're in touch. Well, I am Borough Community Link. Our Q teams we're in touch with elected officials. Obviously, we communicate. Those areas that you're talking about, especially the one upstairs, are all known locations. I know that there's been referrals by the borough, by Community Link to Vice. There's a little bit of a separation. We don't get updates, or I'm not privy to the updates. But we know those locations, and anything that comes across, just send it to the borough, send it to me, send it to the precinct, so that we could all cross-reference it and make sure. And I think what you were alluding to was the 90-day impact zone that we did on. Yes. Okay. So just a little bit of background. A few elected officials did approach us complaining about that, and that's what initiated that 90-day period by the governor along with the mayor. If you feel that that's something that's warranted, we can all re-engage those stakeholders again, and obviously Community Board of 3 and 4 would be involved in that. So if that's something you want to re-engage, we can all start working on that again as well. So, okay, I will speak to you afterwards, and we'll figure something out.
Thank you, Jeffrey. We go to Marie.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Marie Adam Ovid, Community Board 8. The event at in our precinct is actually at St. John's University on November 9th for the Van etching, right, from 10 to 2. Oh, 10 to 1, rather.
Any more questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Well, I want to thank NYPD Queens North and South for their updates today. The BP has been encouraged by the work and partnership that we have with NYPD this year, especially wrapping up the first year of operations with the 116th approach. And so we thank you all for your hard work and your dedication to making this community safer. And yeah, so moving forward, do we have any agency updates from our agency reps? We'll start with Samantha on the left.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. If you don't already know me, my name is Samantha Alvarez. I'm the Queens and Staten Island liaison with the New York City Department of Health. I want to thank our Abortion Access Hub for presenting today. I will send a summary of these resources to give to constituents. But on another note, the Department of Health is promoting for New Yorkers to get their updated COVID and flu vaccines this respiratory virus season. Every year, about 1,500 to 2,000 New Yorkers die of seasonal flu or pneumonia, which can develop as a complication of the flu. So New Yorkers can get free or low-cost vaccines using the New York City Health Map, and that's search engine friendly if you just Google NYC Health Map. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Go to Ari and then Alfonso.
Good morning, everyone. Ari Gershman, he, him, New York City Department of Design and Construction. Few updates for you this morning. DDC has received 6 awards from the Public Design Commission in the 43rd Annual Awards for Excellence in Design. So here in Queens, that includes the Briarwood Community Library. The project includes the complete interior and exterior renovation of the building. So the design is wrapping up, will be completed in the early part of 2026. Going to construction in about a year later, in early 2027, and construction is expected to take about 2 years. In addition, Public Design Commission recognized Percent for Art installation planned for the R. Verne Community Library. So I'll mention briefly the art plan for the R. Verne Community Library is called The Feeling is Mutual by Justin Valdez. Justin Valdez is an artist from the Rockaways, known for surfing, and you can read more about the details of both of those projects on the Public Design Commission website. And then last week, FDNY and community members and DDC broke ground on the new firehouse in Rockaway, Queens. The new facility will be weather and flood resistant, able to operate during a blackout, incorporate community space, and meet LEED Gold standards for environmental sustainability. Construction is expected to be completed summer 2027. And finally, today, DDC is holding a virtual hiring fair for over 40 roles for civil engineers. So if you know any civil engineer looking for a position, please send them to our website today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. For DEP, just want to first thank you all. I had a lot of folks reach out to me last Thursday with the storm that came through, just to alert us about any problem areas that we're seeing water collecting, and that's always very helpful. I would say before for any areas that you know are problem areas, so we can go and check them out, make sure everything's clear ahead of time, during, and then after. So I just want to thank you all for that. On that same note, if you can encourage all your folks, I would say like my 3 sort of notes to around that topic are this from our sister agency, the Notify NYC. You know, always encourage your groups, your constituents to download that app, keep that app handy, keep an eye on it. Good place for alerts. You all, have me, which we'll relay back and forth, and it's, like I said, appreciated that you give us a heads up on anything that we can be helpful with. Also, the FloodNet is good because we have those sensors all over the city. You can see in real time, particularly coastal flooding, if there's anything happening there. Also, this is the part that folks don't like to hear, because I've been in the field this last week and folks don't like this part. Encourage folks to, when they see leaves, because this is the time of year, you see a lot of leaves. I walked around the day after the storm, and I can't tell you how many catch basins I saw caked over with leaves. We take care of the pipes. We check out the pipes. DSNY comes over and does their sweeping. But also the same way that we're responsible for 6 inches from the curb for just regular day-to-day. It's something I got to do also at my house. Just encourage folks. Tis the season for the leaves. So, just anything that they can get out of the catch basins, out of the tops, prevents water from going in their house, their neighbor's house, their businesses. So it just helps all of us. And I think that's it. So thank you all again.
Thank you. We have a question from Felicia.
Thank you. I just want to know, I think I asked before, but I just want to know, how can people get the flood sensors? Because the Rockaways, so I don't know, do they have to sign up for it? Does someone have to come out and look at their property to see if they qualify for a flood sensor? Is there a qualification, or can you just say, a homeowner and I would like a flood sensor? Like, how do they get flood sensors?
So if you go on FloodNet right now, I actually keep it pretty handy on my screen. I mean, it's going to be hard to see it on my phone, but you can kind of see like all the blue dots that are all over the city. We have several in Rockaway. If there's any areas in particular that you feel are not covered, let me know, and I can flag it for the team. I'll find out what the process is for. I believe there's a process on our end where we sort of go around and we analyze where these things would be useful. But I'll confirm that. And I think with a lot of the things that we've been doing over the last year, if it's not something that can be requested, what I do is anything that I get from you all, I relay it back to the respective team so that it can be taken into account. But we can follow up on that. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So follow up on Felicia. We have like Astoria houses, the waterfront in that area where we know flooding happens. Can you send us, are these open information where you're allowed to send to all the district managers where they're located?
The link is available. Yeah, I can send it.
But yeah, just send it the name of the area in writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
do
great. You do great with the PSAs for before the rain, but sometimes with social media, what happens is they come out the day after the rain that we're seeing them. So I don't know if it's possible for DEP to put them in advance when it's projected rain. It's advertisement anyway, just to clean the catch basins, because it's not beneficial. I'm sorry. It's not beneficial to pass it really directly after rain. It's kind of like salt on the wound. Mm-hmm. So if you could get them out, the PSAs for cleaning the catch basin more, I'd love it, please.
Definitely. And I think that's something that we try to do when we engage with folks, when we come to your meetings, when we do things like this. So I think what we're trying to do is hit it from every angle that we can. But that's a good point. So I'll relay that back.
You're doing great.
Thanks to you all.
Yes, this is I guess a combined thing. We have Snake Road.
Oh, yeah?
And when it rains, sometimes it's closed. Is there any way we can get advance notice of when Snake Road is closed? Because quite often people go there and they'll have the barrier and then they'll have to go back out if they want to go south. Do you get that information? I know we got some from 116. How does that actually work?
Because what we do is like we monitor the storms as they come in. Usually we get notified. Snake Road, we're very aware of it. That's one of the first spots that we do check. To kind of pre-warn, I think it's very difficult because it doesn't flood all the time, a lot,
right,
but not all the time. So what we do is like it's almost as it happens is when we shut it down, then we start getting notifications.
So you go out directly?
Sometimes, yes, we'll do it if it's not safe to pass.
Okay, so I'll talk to Sony and see if I can get an email right away.
Sony just sent it out to the community members that's closed, but like I said, it's it's not an exact science. As soon as we see it start to flood, that's when we close it. So it's not like,
Thank you.
And I can tell you, and that's why I want to highlight this FloodNet. We have a couple sensors there, and you can see it in real time also. So if folks want to check before they go out there, they can also look on this.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more updates, questions? Oh, yeah, here we go.
Hi, Christy Vanterpool Germain from DOT. For those that don't know me, I'm the borough planner that covers the northeastern section of Queens. So citywide announcements, the mayor announced $40 million to universal seating at bus stops citywide, or leaning bars, at over 8,800 bus stops over the next 10 years. The next update is the open streets deadline is January 31st of 2026. All this can be found on our website. And also, lastly, the alternate side parking calendar is up on our website. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more agency updates? Oh. Yeah, just have them send it to all community boards. We don't want to single anyone out. Yes, of course. Any one more? Okay.
Hi, all. My name is Madison Ayala. I'm from Department for the Aging. I'm stepping in for Doreen. Some of you may have known her. She moved on. So I'm really from Manhattan, but I'm just here to let you guys all know that I'm still here. If you guys have any constituent concerns or issues, I do have one small announcement, which is that our high cap, which is our health insurance counseling and assistance program, Medicare and Medicare open enrollment period is happening right now until December 7th. So I know with all the federal administration stuff going on, a lot of like older adults are concerned with their health insurance premiums going up. So if you just reach out to me, I can connect any of your constituents with our high cap counselors, and they could go over their Medicare or their health insurance information. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
I just have a question in regard to Social Security. Are there being changes to the process or the plans? I saw something over the weekend. Are you aware of anything related to Social Security?
As far as I know, I haven't heard anything. Because Social Security, Medicaid, things like that, like they're either on the state level or the federal level. NYC Aging isn't really getting any updates on that. As far as our services, because most of our services are coming from city tax levy dollars, we're not losing any funding. So we're just really focused on serving the older adults as much as we can. So if we do see any changes in Social Security or like right now, let's say our home delivered meal programs, that's a lot of our federal funding. We're still trying to make sure that all of our older adults are getting their congregate meals or their home delivered meals and things like that. So we're not really seeing too much. If there is something going on, I would probably reach out to state elected officials or Congress people, because we really don't know, because we're a city. I mean, we're local level, so yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I want to thank everyone for attending today's Borough Cabinet meeting. I want to thank our presenters from DOH, NYPD, as well as our city agencies. And lastly, I want to thank our staff here at Borough Hall for putting this meeting together. Looking forward to seeing everyone at our next Borough Cabinet meeting, which will be on Tuesday, December 2nd at 9:30 a.m. Thank you, everyone. Please take some bagels on your way out, and have a great day.